Ja, ich stehe hier im Stand von Bohemia Interavtive bei ArmA3 und neben mir auf beiden Seiten stehen Entwickler von ArmA3. Nun müssen wir aber zu Englisch wechseln. Who are you?
My name is Cornel van der Land and I'm a brand manager on ArmA3.
Who are you?
Hello, my name is Ondřej Kužel, known by the nickname OK, and I'm a designer on ArmA3.
All right. So we've seen a few DLCs out there for ArmA3 in the past few years. Could you explain a few DLCs and what are we expecting to get for ArmA3?
So yeah, this year we've released the Tanks DLC. You probably know it. It's about tanks. We've released 3 tanks with it. During the summer we've added to Jet's DLC free upgrade called Encore. It added some sim sites and a destroyer vessel. It was made in a cooperation with Bravo 01, our third-party company that cooperates with us. I cooperated with us on Jet's DLC.
And
for the future, we still plan to support ArmA3 in the next year, in 2019. And we also already revealed some of our plans that we are currently focusing on trying out different approach to scenarios, something like an open world scenario. And at this time, we don't have any concrete plans, concrete release dates, but this is something we are actively developing.
Yeah, you're also developing a new engine for your other games, also featured here, for example, Vigor, or is it Vigor? Vigor. And yeah, how is the status for this development?
So this engine is called Enfusion, and it's based on experience from our company's 2 previous engines, Enforce and Real Virtuality. You know Real Virtuality, that's the engine that was used for Arma franchise. And we are building it from ground up, really from the very base. And in ideal state we'll be using for our future games, but there's probably not much we can say at this point. Our core value is creativity, so we are focusing on making it as open as possible, and I'm pretty sure that when we are ready, when we have something that's usable and players can actually play with it, we'll release something that they can use. Yeah.
Maybe Arma 4, is it planned?
No answer on that.
No answer on that, all right. Arma 3 runs on Linux, and this is what, as I've heard, a few gamers appreciate, included me, because maybe I will switch to Linux later on. Why do you have decided to make this game available for Linux?
Right. Well, basically we want the game to be available to as many people as possible. And I would say maybe Linux users in particular, they are quite more technical, quite happy to use mods, for example. So the game makes sense for the platform. However, we are not able to provide full native support for the platforms because of engine limitations. So we work together with an external partner called Virtual Programming, and they have some technology that sort of functions as a wrapper for the game, and it allows it to run on Linux and Mac. So basically they developed those versions for us. They are still experimental ports, so there are some limitations, and also the updates take a bit longer because we have to first basically finish the Windows version, and then our partner can prepare the updates. The other part of it is that it does cost quite a bit of money every time to update those versions. So currently we are evaluating a little bit whether the number of players is in balance with the cost of each updates. But aside from the economic aspect of it, we just like to have the game available to as many people as possible.
And what are the technical limitations of wrapping the game for Linux?
Well, there's one thing, ArmA3 uses a launcher, so there are some limitations there. And I believe also with the Steam Workshop, but I'm not entirely sure. The other thing is mostly that the versions are often not matching, because when we publish an update for the Windows version, it takes quite some time to prepare the Linux update, and because the versions are not matching, people cannot always play together in multiplayer. So that's quite an important limitation.
All right, so the new engine we've heard of is still like in planning, but is it intended to be running on Linux natively, or does it also be wrapped?
I think it's not fully, it's not our primary focus at this point to make sure that it runs on Linux. We are primarily targeting Windows and console platforms, but definitely if we have those, I have been told that it should be a bit easier to port it to the other platforms as well. And again, we would be very happy to have the game available on as many platforms.
Console platforms like, I can play ArmA3 now on Xbox with maybe multiple, triple or so controller configuration.
Yeah, that will be a challenge. I think ArmA in its nature will always be more of a PC-focused franchise. Still, we would like to bring some sort of ArmA experience to console players. Unfortunately, with ArmA3 it's not possible, but we hope with future Bohemia games we can do this. And for example, we are now preparing the Xbox version and the PlayStation version for DayZ. So there will be some sort of our first attempt at going onto those platforms, and then we have a new game called Vigor, which is on Xbox. And also our other game that's for a slightly younger audience called Islands is also intended to go to other platforms.
All right, and you've said it's not your primary goal to make it run natively on Linux. So I guess it's not like a switch you can toggle for it to be running on Linux. What are the challenges to let it run natively on Linux?
Can you repeat? I didn't know that.
What are the challenges for the new engine? What do you have to do so that it can run on Linux? What are the major challenges?
I think this is a question both of us can't quite answer, because it's more of a technical question that is more for programmers. So I'm not quite sure how to best answer this question.
All right. So is there a programmer right here around who we could ask, or?
I think not someone who's working on the application.
All right. So, do you want to tell the audience something like greetings, you want to thank the audience, or is there something you want to tell?
Definitely, we'd like to thank our players and thank our community for keeping ArmA alive for 5 years now. In September it will be September 12th. It will be 5 years from the release of the game, and even before the game was in alpha for half a year. So we're grateful for keeping the game, for that you keep the game alive, guys. It's awesome, and it's getting stronger and stronger. So we're happy.
Yeah, I would have to echo OK's words. I think ArmA would not have been what it is today if it weren't for our community. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of passion, a lot of dedication. There's still a lot of new mods coming out and current mods being updated. And the game is as active as it was when it released, and it looks like it's not slowing down. So that's just awesome. It's very humbling for all of us that we can still work on the game for such a long time, and that's really all thanks to the players.
All right, then thank you very much for the interview. Thanks for having me, and back to the studio.